Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? It's a packed house. They were telling me that they had to turn some people away, so you guys are the lucky ones tonight. What'd you think of the film? Yeah? Well, thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Nischelle Turner. I am a correspondent and host at Entertainment Tonight, and I'm really excited to be here. I saw the film earlier today myself, so I'm really excited to talk to the cast tonight and the director, Russ Parr. So I don't want to take up all your time running my mouth because I know you want to hear from the people in the movie, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So please welcome to the stage the director and the cast of Ringside. Russ Parr, come on out. Hello. Jackie Long, where are you? There you are. Julissa Bermudez, come on in. Tyler Lepley. Hello.
Doesn't count unless it's on Snapchat.
Yeah, Raney Branch, where are you? I saw you when I was coming in. Everybody give Alan Maldonado a big round of applause. And last but certainly not least, Tequan Richmond. Come on in. All right, Russ, folks have seen your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody gave it a big clap and said they really enjoyed it.
Some people didn't clap.
Uh-oh. You were looking, right?
Yeah, and we'll meet you in the parking lot.
He saw you. It was interesting because I love the concept of this. I love 24/7. I mean, I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So when I saw that you were drawing from that, I'm like, you know what? That's a great concept for that. Are you a fan of 24/7 as well?
Yeah, because I thought doing Boxing 365, I can hide story. You know what I mean? Yep. Because I don't have to explain a lot. I can hide it through the guise of it being part of the reality show. So when I was writing it, I was like, wow, I could take the 24/7 kind of format and basically tell their story without having them act it out.
Yeah.
You know, just bits and pieces so I can keep it moving.
Because there's so many lanes in this, and there are so many stories that are intertwined and woven. Fake Drake, my first question is to you.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Fake Drake.
That's going to be his own hashtag, right? Fake Drake.
For sure. But you do kind of favor Drake a little bit. Y'all can be
I
similar.
favor Drake?
Well, maybe he favors you.
I'm just trying
You
to
need
get
a
a
one
bank account
thumb?
like Drake. I'll be all right.
No. Okay, so Fake Drake, listen, we want to know.
Tyler. I'm going to have to nip that in the bud real quick.
I'm not going to do that to you.
I'm teasing.
I just thought that was one of the, I laughed out loud at that in the movie. That was really a funny line. One of the things that I loved about the movie from the get-go is I saw 3 shirtless men right off the top. Absolutely. Who looked good, right? Yes. Exactly. Woo! Who
Winning.
were in great shape. So did you take the boxing aspect of this seriously and really train so you would look like you were authentic?
I mean, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is with anytime you're going to portray a character where you have to bring so much physicality to it, it has to be to the point where it can be authentic. You know what I mean? You watch a Floyd Mayweather, you watch a Mike Tyson walk around. I mean, they got it in the way they walk, their demeanor. You know what I mean? So not only inside the ring, but outside the ring. So with a movie like this, the physicality has to be right for it to be authentic. It kind of affects the whole character and the movie.
What about you,
absolutely.
Alan? Did you get nice hands?
Oh, man. Process? Well, the thing is, me and Tyler, we had a background in boxing already. So jumping into this was kind of just like a fish in water. But as soon as I saw the breakdown for the film, I started really trying to train and really get ready for it. And then we got the call and we booked everything. We took it to the next level. I was doing like 2 a days. I was currently writing for Survivor's Remorse at the time, so I would wake up early in the morning, 7 a.m., work out, then go to the office from 10 to 6, and then as soon as I left the office, go straight to the gym. Man, I was moving at the time like it was crazy.
What did I just say to you last week? I said, you're a Jamaican because you have 85 jobs. I just said this to you.
I got 10 jobs.
By the way, can we give Alan a round of applause because Blackish is nominated for an Emmy?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Let's bring that thing home. Let's go ahead and bring that thing home.
You are the man because like all the stuff that you're affiliated with are hits.
I appreciate that. Let's go. Ringside is added to the list, baby.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
So you guys, Tyler and Alan, you guys had backgrounds in boxing already. What did you, just for sport, or did you actually train for it in life?
You go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, you know what? Growing up, I always trained with it. I come from a boxing family, and it wasn't until I started taking football seriously and got a scholarship to play football that kind of sat on the back burner. And then, once I graduated and whatnot, just got back to regular, my own regiment. Then, I started picking it up a bit. But I think the only difference between what I normally do and the 3 weeks we had to prepare for this was just crank it up a notch because we didn't have too much time to really.
Wait, 3 weeks is
But
how long you all?
actually, I boxed too.
First of all, you should be a boxer.
No, I boxed peaches in the San Joaquin Valley, man, for many years. Okay, I worked hard for that joke. Come on now. Yeah, you didn't know that joke? Okay, never mind.
So that's an interesting thing. You had 3 weeks to prepare for this.
These guys came in ripped.
Yeah.
Don't let them. They were already. The only thing I needed to do when they came in for the audition, I threw hands at them. And right? Did I throw
you
hands
really?
at them?
You did.
Literally.
No warning.
you did
just threw the
for real?
hands
Yeah,
at.
because if they came in and swinging at me like that, they weren't. No, I actually had a couple of guys that did that. They didn't make the cut. But no, I just throw a left at them. Yeah,
Right.
I boxed a little bit when I was a kid, but not on their level. But you throw the hands at them. If they throw them back at you right, that's the only way they were going to be authentic.
Nice.
So that's the first
did
thing they
you-
walk through the door, just start throwing at them.
Normally you have to slate, you give your height, your role, and stuff like that.
Russ
as soon
just swings at
Russ
you.
is swinging at you. So
Tyler scared me because he moved in for a kill shot, and I was,
I was ready to take him out.
hold
I
on.
was ready to take him out.
Dude, I'm 32, man. I'm gonna go down.
I love it. How long did it take you guys to shoot this film?
12 days.
Wow.
Yeah, we move really quick, and when you have a budget that
$2. We have
No.
a $2 budget.
no, I think the big thing is that we're really organized, and I really appreciate TV One. Listen, they're not like the biggest network with the biggest budgets, so for them to give us what they gave us, and for us to be able to finish it in that amount of time, I thought you can only do that when you have great actors. If I have to get in there and just really coach everybody, then that slows down the process. But these guys were in it. And every character, Julissa and Raney and Tequan is just a beast. This guy is.
Yeah.
He's a one taker.
Can you come and do my backyard? Because I've been trying to get it done for 2
Oh,
months.
absolutely. I'll mow
And
your
if you
lawn
can work
anytime you
efficiently
want.
like that, then I need you at my house. I really do. Sheesh. Jackie, I wanted to ask you, first of all, I'm a fan of your work, have been for a very long time.
Thank you.
And I thought this was interesting. I thought you had one of the most interesting characters in this before. He really layered because he's a good guy at heart, but very flawed. So how did you prepare the whole gambling addiction thing? How did you prepare for that? Where'd you go for that?
My daddy.
Oh,
My
I'm there with you on that one. No, I can feel you on that.
my daddy to this day he
Stays in the casino?
bets horses.
Oh, okay.
And he goes to the bookie joints all the time. So I've been to the bookie joint maybe about 2 or 3 times with him. But when he plays, he's like really into it. You can't talk to him. He's like, I gotta go now. So it really wasn't that much to do because I just just thought of my dad.
Yeah.
But I like the role, man, because of this guy. He took a shot at me because a lot of people, if they always say I do comedy. So I wanted to do this role because of that. It was a lot, but Russ know what's up.
Is that your thing, Russ? Because we don't see that a lot in this business. Taking a chance on an actor, letting them stretch themselves in a way that maybe they don't often get to stretch themselves. And if they're in a big studio film or whatever, sometimes you're put in a box, and you know what I'm saying. You're the funny guy.
And as
you're
actors,
you're the best friend. You're the whatever.
Actors hate to be put in a box like that, and I think when we were casting, the people at the network, they're going like, well, Jackie's going to give us comedy, and this is a serious role. And I said, no, I think I really can I've worked with Jackie on a couple other films. I think I can get him to go from there. And then when he went to the audition, I challenged him. And one thing, when you want to get a good performance from an actor, you challenge him. And I said, I want you to act with no emotion on your face. Remember at the audition? And I said, hey, man, I don't want you to act with because I believe you act with your eyes.
Right.
Your eyes, you can't lie.
How do you act with no emotion? I mean,
He
because
did it.
Isn't that what actors are supposed to do? It's supposed to be
Well-
all in here?
Well, the thing is that Jackie, when you watch him doing comedy, he expresses himself with his face a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went and found him at Home Depot, because he's been out of work for a while.
We got a few more hours 'cause I gotta go to work.
Right,
after
yeah,
this.
he's got the vest, man. He does a really good
So
job
you
on
can do
Saturdays.
my backyard then.
Yes, he can.
Okay, good.
Not the lawnmower. We just got a new lawnmower on sale.
But to make a long story short, not to belabor it, Jackie, he just went in and he had great guys to, Tyler, he's kind of like a method actor. Alan is like a tornado, and he's going to lay it in there. But Jackie just fit in, and every once in a while he would get out of character, just rarely, and I just look at him, he would know.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to say anything to
back.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only when he would rehearse, he would never. One of his bad habits, he never rehearsed the way he's supposed to do it. So I had to break him. For
It's
that.
your thing?
But
Just when I rehearse, sometimes I do different things, like different ways. He probably caught it in a way I was doing it different.
he amuses himself.
And that's all. But
He's just different.
it's Russ. When you see his lips swell, you don't want that.
Ouch! That hurt. Oh my God.
Well, there are two people on this stage that I actually wanted to take a swing at during this movie. And I hate that they're the women that are up here. But, Julissa,
I know.
come on. You were that girl. You
Totally
were.
that girl.
You know what? That actually was probably pretty freeing to just like, I can play like Thoughtlandia to the hilt. Like, I'm just going there. She's all thought all the time.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie was 75 million. And then she's there with the blindfold. Ooh, he's always playing. I loved it. Did you have a good time playing Carmen?
Absolutely. Carmen is my new alter ego. Whenever I feel shy, whenever I feel as if I don't have enough confidence in something, I'm going to say, what would Carmen do? I might get a bracelet.
WWCD. What would
But
Carmen
Russ did
do?
make it really comfortable. Actually, even at the table read, before we started shooting, he told me, he said, I know you're going to be wearing a lot of provocative outfits. I know Carmen is a very sexy character. If at any moment you don't feel comfortable, because this is a cast with so many men and obviously crew and what have you, you let me know immediately. So once a director comes up to you before we've even started to shoot and tells you that, you know that you're in good hands. So
Yeah. Oh,
I was able to be free in my thoughtish ways.
in my thoughtish ways. And Raney, you pulled the wool over my eyes. I thought you were the good girl, but not so much.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, right, okay? No, really, I like that too, because you zigged when we thought you were going to zag Russ in there. And then that's always fun for the viewer, right?
Yes.
When you're watching the movie? Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that about Indira, to actually have the opportunity to play a character who has an arc and to have so much depth and complexity, particularly in a sports-related film. I mean, usually you don't really see women in these kinds of movies. If we are, it's like one scene. She's usually half naked.
She's usually
Carmen.
Yeah.
Right, she's usually Carmen. So it was really fun to get a chance to do that. And I had to be in a love scene with him.
Yeah, you did.
And I left when you guys were watching it because I was like, I can't watch this. But
oh, you can't watch it? You can't watch that by yourself?
Oh my God, I can't watch
Good
that.
girl at heart.
I can't watch that.
It was a good scene. Let me just let you know.
It was fun.
You done
it
good,
was
girl.
fun to shoot. It was fun to shoot. But I really enjoyed it. And actually, something changed in the scene right before their fight that actually I really like now, because it adds more ambiguity to what happens between the two of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Is this your first major role?
This is my first major role.
All
yes,
right.
Give it up.
Yeah.
Give it up.
I've been recurring and guest starring on stuff.
So, how was the
Raney.
experience for you? Were you, nervous, a ball of energy? How was this?
So, raise your hand if you're an actor in the audience. Okay. Put your hands
good.
down.
I like
Raise
that.
your hand if you have yet to work for a full solid week as an actor on a project. Okay, so you guys, here's the thing, right? You get to set, before you get to set, it's like, okay, I have all my lines learned. Okay, so I'm ready to go. But what they don't tell you is that when you're working 12 days straight, you don't have any clean underwear. There's no food in your house. Like there were just things that had nothing to do with actually like. There were things that had nothing
okay, let's stop it right there. This is the first time.
Don't tell nobody that.
All right, next question.
Stop.
Next question. We gonna move it along.
Let me just say this, Alan.
We gonna move it along.
Let me just have this.
It's our first time,
And
y'all.
clean draws.
We gonna save her from herself.
Keep it all in your car
We gonna save her
anyway.
from herself. You did great, girl. You did. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What I was trying to say was.
Ain't no draws in
It
the house.
doesn't belong
That's
in
when
your house. It belongs in the
that's when you left
backseat of
off.
your car,
You let-
Raney.
you left
Every
off.
true actor knows that.
The hard stuff had nothing to do with actually acting. It was like life.
Right.
It was like, oh, I have to be on set at 4 a.m. and I don't get off set till 8 p.m. and I look crazy and I'm hungry and nothing's open by the time I get back to the valley.
Welcome to the actor's
I was
world,
like, oh,
right?
this is great. Yeah, so just be prepared.
And between draws.
And like buy like 3 months worth of draws.
Two draws. Oh, thank you, Raney.
Okay.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, one
You all
take.
know what you're getting for Christmas, Raney. By the way.
Soap. Draws. Soap.
Small.
Soap.
Boy
No
short.
Secret Santa's here.
Soap. That's it.
Okay, one
underwear,
take to
duh.
Quan. I wanna get to you down there.
What's going on?
The thing I liked about your
Do not look
character.
at me.
I'm sorry. I'm still
I'm
caught up
talking
on her draws.
to one take to Quan down there.
What's
But
going on?
You all are worried about like zest and all that Irish Spring and whatnot. But so I mean, you were bratty little brother,
Right.
yes, who got on my nerves just watching him. How much did you guys all bond in this process? Because you look like you feel real comfortable with each other. You get along well. You're friends.
We have long days.
That doesn't always happen.
Yeah,
on
we have
movie
long
sets.
days, and we're just working with each other nonstop. So it's just like we all get comfortable with each other.
And Jackie had good weed.
Jackie had.
Jackie's the plug. He's the plug.
I don't do drugs. That's still mine.
I'm actually gonna believe that. I'm just gonna believe that and maybe keep it moving.
But for real, it's Jackie though, because him cracking jokes all the time keeps everybody loose. So
Yeah.
I just like everybody to have fun on set.
Okay.
I feel if we're gonna do a project and we leave a project, I want at least the relationship to be good. So if we ever work together again, it'll be like it's not working, you know.
You know, I think we really kind of set the tone with. Personally, this is just my style. I like to let them be who they are.
Right.
And when I see that it could be conflicting with an actor, you know, when somebody may not like what somebody else is doing, I'll pull that actor and they may be having an issue and say, hey, man, is this kind of bothering you? And a lot of times they won't admit it to me, but I think for the most part, what we try to do is we have fun. I don't care if we're in a really heavy, dramatic scene. We are joking right before that because it keeps everybody loose. I don't believe in directing from Video Village. I always direct in an actor's ear.
Okay.
That way you're not asking them to do things in front of their peers. I think that's very disrespectful. And I've seen so many actors that have been wounded by directors that have just abused.
You abuse me all the time.
Yeah, you're different.
Talks about my
That's
mom.
been said 3 times tonight already, that Jackie's different.
Disrespects me all the time. But we work good.
Hey, Alan, I think I know the answer to this, or maybe part of the answer
What's
to
up?
this, but who did you draw from?
Oh
For your
man,
character.
I drew from a lot of people. You know, definitely Money Mayweather.
Exactly.
Was on his Twitter and IG, just watching all his videos. But definitely, you know, Ali, of course, McGregor. Just channeling from a lot of the fighters with big mouths and just with a tenacious. Mike Tyson as well. He was a monster in the ring, but yeah, the money team for the most part. The money
That's
team.
what I thought. And I don't know if this was on purpose or just something that I kind of got from watching it. I know that Tyler, your character, I mean, you're a smart guy, and you know, boxing isn't really what you felt like you had to do. You were doing it for a reason. I'm not sure if I believed what you told her, or I thought there was something else behind
Which was
that.
what?
Well, that you were doing it for everybody else, and you were doing it because you were bullied as a kid, and
Well, that's what I was telling the Boxing 365 interview, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't talking to Raney. You were talking to the camera. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, and what about it when I was talking to them? What's the question?
Did you?
I'm sorry.
Maybe that wasn't a question. Maybe I was just telling you what I thought.
I'm just specific. Yeah. What's specifically the
No,
question?
I just felt like there was a little something more, and maybe that was just what Russ wanted the audience to take away, is to kind of come with our own conclusion about him.
I can. The way I write, I don't like to explain everything. I hate scripts where.
That's what I was getting at. That makes it. It wasn't
because I think
right.
we tend to dumb down dialogue because we think that the audience can't figure things out. I want people to be able, especially with every movie that I write, I want them to be able to think about what could it be, what is he really saying, so you can kind of tap into one of those layers at a time. I try to write. I'm not saying I invented the wheel or my stuff is ingenious and it's so deep. I'm not that modest. But the point that I'm trying to make is that what I try to do with these characters, just to leave enough meat on the bone for you to like ponder and have a conversation on your way home and go like, is he really like that? Because the persona on TV, early on, you notice that that's not what he wanted to, that's not who he was.
Right.
So, but whenever the camera was on, he really tried to give you little pieces of him, but he was being manipulated by his manager.
Absolutely.
He understands he has to sell tickets.
He was being manipulated by everybody.
Yeah.
by everybody that was around him. I didn't see the end coming. I thought we were going to have a Rocky moment, and we didn't, right? Did you all see that coming? No.
Well, every woman that's watched this fight, watched this movie that I've shown it to, has been very upset.
I was a little bit like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Well, a show of hands, how many people were really upset that he lost?
I was. Oh,
I'm gonna need all y'all to put your hands down.
Come on.
I'm gonna need all y'all to. I'm standing right here.
Well, apparently Tyler's not even upset that he lost because he didn't.
You know what?
For real?
Sometimes the good guys don't always win. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go.
And, it's like when you have to. A lot of times when you are whether you're thrust into it or you choose to go into that patriarch or that caretaker title, and you have to give to everybody. Sometimes you forget to give to yourself. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you might not have the ability to block out all these outside things that go on when I'm going into this moment that has the ability to not only get me killed inside this ring, but affect me and everybody else that I stand for. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like I think it's a lot more than meets the eye.
You still made $35 million.
I mean, it's still $35 million. So
and I think what I tried to do was leave everything open.
Yeah.
And I know that's frustrating for a lot of people that want to go home and feel good, but that's not reality for everybody, and there's like a lot of unanswered questions. And hopefully
how much did you win
right.
for betting $20,000?
I got extra money is all I'm saying. I got
I think
money.
at the end of the day, we're hoping that this will go to series, and we can have the redemptive fight, and we can resolve the issues with Peyton. And
I'm not losing then either.
Right. And that was why it was designed like that. It was just kind of wrote it like it was a backdoor pilot.
I was going to say, did you go into it knowing that's what you were going to do at the end, that you weren't going to have the protagonist win?
Yeah, and, I think the network thought, okay, make it a standalone movie, but at the end of the day, I probably would have ended it like this anyway. It's just kind of like what I do. As opposed to answering all the questions.
Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of loose ends there that you could pick back up. So you do want it to go. You're hoping it would go to series.
There's a million storylines.
We gotta ask them. Do they think it should go to series?
Yeah.
That's what I like.
All right.
There you go.
Some people aren't clapping.
They clapping. It was an air one.
No, they weren't clapping.
We're gonna find them.
There are some questions from the audience that I do want to get to because I know folks out there have questions. This question is from Kevin Anderson. Kevin, are you still? Okay. He wants to know is there going to be an ATL 2, Jackie Long?
He loves that question. He loves that question. He loves it.
It's in talks, but right now somebody's pregnant, so all we can do is just sit back and relax.
Somebody's
Until
that
He's
doesn't
just talking
happen.
about the prison movie you're doing. He's doing a prison movie. It's a
No
prison
prison.
love story.
Oh, here we go.
Fine.
Here we go.
We just wait on
Here
one
we
of
go.
the cast
He'll be
members.
doing his own stunts.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
That's funny. No, maybe I should follow up with, do you think that it will happen?
Honestly, I think it will. You know, when the fans ask for stuff, sometimes you just got to give it, and I think we really will. We just waiting on Lauren London.
To not be pregnant. We got you.
Once she's ready, we'll be ready.
I got you. Okay, this question is for Tequan. It says your performance was really dope. Are you really an artist?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I dibble and dabble somewhat. That's how I kind of got all of this and just being able to do this.
Spit fire right now. 8 bars. Go.
The Sogon challenge. You can do the Sogon challenge right now.
Because I'll spit something whack. Don't do it. Oh, really? TC it up here. Don't play with it.
Yeah, you're still in method.
Yeah,
you're still
I'm a
there.
different-
You're still there, Alan. You definitely are. Do you have music? Are you working on music?
I am working on music.
You're
right
working
now,
on music
yeah.
right now. Okay, I mean.
No, you can't hear any.
All right, this question is for Russ. Russ, this is Sevyn Streeter's first role. What made her so fitting for this part?
Donnie and Leah, Butler Daniels, when she came in for the audition and she walked out, this is what we all did. We all just looked at each other, right, Donnie? And we said, oh, because we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I know it really bothers actors that are really trained, that, you know, you got your singers coming in and comedians and everybody taking your jobs, but I thought she was very credible. Mm-hmm. And you know, listen, I don't think that you nail it your first time out all the time, but you just need to be just good enough to get her over the hump, and I just thought she did that very well. And she was committed. She was listening to Tyler and Alan and all these guys that were coaching.
Sure.
And everybody coached. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody had the same goal, because if she succeeds, we all succeed.
Tyler, is this your first time carrying a movie? Is this your first lead role?
Yeah, this is my first lead role. Yeah.
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 All right, we got to give him a hand
killed
too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So how do you feel after this experience? I know I asked Raney because this is her first big role. How do you feel, you know, about the experience of this being your first leading man role?
You know what? It was a lot of fun because you know what I've been working on currently for the past few years is television. You know, it's been a blessing that we've been going on for seasons and seasons. But you know, it's like when you start off on a character on the television, there's no end. You don't really know where it's ending, and you know, in order to try to find that arc from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean? So to be able to have that, and then, you know, just bring together everything that makes this character so complex. It was a challenge, but that's what drew me into the role in the first place.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun to be able to go out there and you know, give it my all, and have a great supporting team. You know, get us to the championship. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Yeah. Jackie, you know, we touched on this a little bit, but this was a question that someone wrote, and I thought it was very interesting. The fact that this is a different type of role for you. You do usually play the funny guy, and you went to the dramatic side here. I hear so many comedians say that they do want to stretch that muscle and try to play that you know, very serious role. Were you apprehensive at all? Like, man, what if I screw this up? Like, can I go there?
I don't
dark side.
I don't never doubt myself, but
Yeah.
honestly, dramatic is my favorite.
Oh, really?
Like I
never would've guessed
I
that.
don't think nothing is easy, but dramatic is my favorite because comedy. I've been doing comedy since high school, junior high, and just everything. So it's natural for me. So when somebody have a conversation, I know when to be funny and when not to be funny. But when I ever get the opportunity to get a dramatic role, it's like when people get to really see what I can do.
Right.
I take it
to the max. And like I say, I thank Russ for really giving me this opportunity for the world can see what I actually can do besides comedy, because I love comedy, don't get me wrong, but dramatic is just something when you can do comedy and dramatic, you got best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And
Russ, did you, I mean, there's a lot of good looking people up here. I mean, really, I mean, this is a great looking cast. Was that, seriously, was that something where you were like, I need serious eye candy for this movie?
No, actually, you know, and, you know, I talked with Donnie and Leah, and we wanted fresh faces.
Okay.
Because, you know, no disrespect to the same actors that we see in the same roles all the time.
Ever, right?
And what I've tried to do in a lot of my movies is cast people that you don't see every day, or just maybe they're on a series or whatever. We just wanted some fresh faces, and I think that the network is in such a wonderful position to be able to build stars. We see all the other networks do it. I mean, who knew anybody from The Walking Dead? You know what I mean? And so we should be able to do it. There's so many you know, actors, and I'm not partial to just African-American actors. Actors is what I'm looking for. And if I see a role that maybe, all right, this is a black person, I'll take a white person if he's better.
Right.
You know, because, you know.
So you don't write color specific, and that's really interesting. Because
I don't, because, you know, I really understand that it's so hard to find good white help nowadays. And just kidding. And some of my best friends are just kidding.
Oh, God. Stop.
I know some of y'all looking at me. Okay, yes, I'm a Trump supporter. But no, I think that the big thing is that I think what the network allowed us to do with this film is to bring in the best actor.
Yeah.
And yeah, Julissa's beautiful, and Raney, and you know, Alan's gorgeous.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But it wasn't even about, you know, I wanted eye candy. It wasn't about that. It was about the best actor and the best performance.
All right, I love that. We all know when we see somebody that starts to get some shine, and we say it's my fault in the media, the overnight success, and they're like, yeah, 15 years of an overnight success. Do you guys still work on your craft, and how do you do that still today? I mean, do you go to classes? What do you do when you're still working on your craft?
I'll go. I actually work with groups of friends on monologues and scenes. Like, we'll just find stuff and play around with things. Alan actually coached me on some stuff recently. I booked it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Alan Maldonado is also available as a personal acting coach in addition to every other job. But I like to stay fresh. I like to work on Shakespeare. I like to work on contemporary stuff, just whatever I can do to really stretch the muscle, because oftentimes as actors, we do get pigeonholed, which when you're starting out is actually not a bad thing, because casting needs to know what your type is so that they can bring you in for those things. But then once you get established, you're able to branch out and do other things. So I just like to work on scenes. Go work on scenes with folks.
And I do love when people take a different path to here. And so I want to kind of ask Julissa and Tyler, because you, Tyler, were talking about the fact you were a football player and you had a football scholarship. How did you end up acting? Or that knew that you loved?
You know what? I didn't really fall in love with it until after I was involved with it. You know, my story is very, atypical. I graduated from school on the East Coast, and I moved out here just because I didn't like my 9-to-5 job and whatnot. And I gripped a job up, personal training, and probably like a month into it, you know, someone approached me and asked me to audition for something, and I booked it, and, you know, 5 years later, here we are.
Wow.
But that's how I got into it. I mean, the first part of your question, which I really liked, is, you know, how do we prepare at this point?
Yeah.
Because for 5 years now that I've been into it, you know, I've been involved with it working. You know, I think the biggest thing for me is to try to bring bring all the pieces together to really play my full orchestra. What I mean by that is this, like, you know, it's not only, you know, some of the scene study that I might do with the acting coach. Obviously, you know, that's one thing you got to check off. You're doing that all the time. I work with the coach to get my voice right, to have, you know, control over, you know, what I'm articulating and hitting certain pitch tones. I could say hello to you 10 different ways if I have control over my voice and how I'm talking. I work with someone to do the same thing actually with my body, because you know how I'm holding my posture and whatnot. You can do a lot of physical acting also. Reading some of the old plays. Like I drew a lot of inspiration from The Great White Hope, which is a play from a long time ago, James Earl Jones, right? So bringing all these things together, and when you'll come to a point, not that I'm necessarily there right now, but you'll come to a point eventually where everything hits on all cylinders and you got a full orchestra playing. So I think the biggest thing for me is to bring it all together. It's not necessarily one thing that I do.
And Jackie reads a lot of Tyler Perry Medea scripts.
And so look, I'm gonna tell y'all what I do.
I know you're gonna ask Julissa. You were asking Julissa.
My favorite thing.
No, but I saw before. Actually, I know Jackie wanted to answer that question because I saw him go like this, and then I kind of cut him off and started talking to Tyler and Julissa. So please, sir, the floor is yours.
Now, my thing, it was nothing big. I was just gonna say my favorite thing to do, because she said, "How do we still work on our craft?" I love auditioning, and the reason why
I don't hear that much from actors.
Just listen. Just watch. This is the reason why. I know every actor wants to get to that stage where they just get the call. Sure. I'm not gonna lie, I get them calls, but I love auditioning because you get a script, you get to read, that you get to learn something new about, and then you get to learn about a character that you're becoming. So whether if I get the job or not, I'm glad at the end of the day I got to meet the producers, the director, whoever was in there. So if I did good or bad, or maybe okay, I left something in that room so they can remember. And that's all I think about, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, no matter how big I get, I always want to leave a big mark in that room so they can always think of me.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because you don't hear actors much say, I like to audition. You do want to be that person who they write a role for.
So don't get scared of auditions, or if you see a lot of lines and you like, I don't want to do it, you tired, trust me, when you get the job, you're going to have to do them lines.
And I think
do your job.
The big thing is a lot of y'all go for auditions and you think, I did a bad job. No, we're sometimes, a lot of times we're looking for a look. And you could be kind of weak, and it doesn't matter if a director is worth their salt. They're going to get the performance out of you because if you have a little bit of skill, it's up to them to get the performance out of you. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get a job because it's about a look. And what Jackie said is very right because Jackie will come in and impress us, and on the next project we'll go, hey, remember Jackie Long? And then boom, that's how it works.
And the reason why I say that, it's a long time ago, I did this movie called The Comebacks. It was a football spoof, and it was all football players. So they kept calling me in, and I'm thinking to myself, they want a big receiver like Terrell Lawrence. And I swear, I went home to my mom and said, Mom, I don't want to audition no more for this role because I'm not gonna get it. It's a waste of time. They called me back 3 times. I don't know what's going on, and I just know they're not looking for me. It's just a waste of time. I think they still in my work when I go in there. And she said, she said, no, Jackie. Look, God said go to the audition. They keep calling you back. It's for a reason. And sure enough, I ended up getting a job, but it learned me a big lesson to never doubt myself on just because I'm thinking of football players. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm extra skinny and small. They're not going to pick me. And when you see the movie, you would think I was a big receiver. So I learned my lesson. I thank my mom for that.
You know, Julissa, stepping from, you were in front of the camera being a television host. That's a totally different muscle to then go into acting. How did your path kind of go there? And did you always want to be here?
Actually, yeah, growing up in New York City and, being able to go to plays, musicals, it's something I always wanted to do. Theater, actually. I was inspired mainly by theater, which is why I studied theater arts in school. But television hosting came about, and I had the best time doing it, and I still do, especially live events and what have you. But acting, and it's funny that we're talking about auditioning because it really doesn't have anything to do with, like Russ said, it could be a look. For this audition, I was in the middle of a cleanse, and my phone, where's Dee? She was just here. My phone went off because I had it on different timers so that I can drink my shakes for this cleanse. So as I'm auditioning, in the middle of my audition, the third scene, my phone just goes off. It was
that's Carmen Santiago.
Oh my gosh, it was. But the thing about Carmen Santiago, I went in the room thinking I was her. Like, I was that girl. I wore the tightest, restricting dress I could think of. And I just thought, you know, what would a girl like this wear? What kind of attitude would she have? And another movie that I've done before was playing a dancer. And she was supposed to be the top dancer at this nightclub. And I am certainly not a dancer, but I observe people, and dancers have a certain swag about them. The way they move is different. If a song of theirs that they've ever done any choreography to comes on in the club, they bust right into it.
Right.
So, you know, when you're observant, which is true, that's why he's laughing, but when you're observant and think, okay, I want to really nail this. I want to be good at this, whether I book the job or not. You start making it personal, and you start thinking about what human behavior really is, and ultimately, you know, bringing your own flavor to it, because hosting, as you know, is still an extension of your personality, which I feel like acting is as well. You don't have to be a serial killer, obviously, to play a serial killer, but you can think about, wow, like, what would drive me what would drive me personally to a point that I would be that frustrated or that whatever to get to that extent. So yeah, it's a matter of just like really trying to be the best at whatever you're given, what materials you're given.
Tyler, I wanted to ask you, because you did talk a little bit about the training that you did, and I think some people were telling me earlier, Alan, is you as well, that you do have a very strict regimen. Did you?
Yeah, I'm a maniac. I don't sleep.
A maniac.
I don't sleep. The thing is that it's all about perspective for me. I was once told that if you can't explain something in one word, you don't really know it. So that's something that I chase every day. It's a daily investigation of myself as an actor. The more you know of yourself, the more you can give to your characters. And just to get back to the word perspective, is that we all could be any one of the individuals that we play or we're asked to play. But if something just changed or altered, one thing you saw in life, one thing that happened to you, you could be that serial killer. You could be that doctor, or you could be that drug dealer. So we're not as far, we don't have to become this thing or have to become this character. We're all humans. We're not asking to be a tree or a rock. So to make those subtle changes is what really defines great acting. And perspective is the word that I investigate every day. So that's just something that I do, and something that I do constantly. Even while I'm on stage, I'm people watching, and I'm studying myself on how I respond, to the point of when my left hand itches, how does that feel? Like I'm that deep with it. I'm that deep with it to the point where I have to watch cartoons at night to go to sleep. So yeah, it's a daily obsession, but perspective is the word that I investigate.
And Tyler, my question to you was a little bit for my own information. What do you do? Because you look ridiculous. Like, you look great. So what do you do? What's your regimen? What do I
do? Well, I eat a lot of cheeseburgers. It's like, no.
You know what? I'm going to swing at you now.
Listen, I do eat, first of all, I eat cheeseburgers. Don't get it twisted. I just don't eat. You know what I do? I think the biggest
I hate when a dude
does
that. I hate when a dude does that.
What? Grass-fed
I eat
beef?
cheeseburgers and French fries.
Well, here's the thing.
That response.
Here's the thing. You know what? I work out and stuff like that. I think the biggest thing in terms of making progress is definitely with nutrition. Whether you're talking about looking a certain type of way or really having longevity in life. So I think it's not that I don't eat bad, but I just try not to eat stuff that's so processed. It doesn't mean I won't eat a double cheeseburger. You know what I mean? That's all greasy, but I'd rather
grass fed. Go for it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it might be organic beef, and it might be. I know who's making the meal. One person's making one meal. It's not a slogan where they feed 5 billion people and they're using all this filler. You know what I mean?
Go.
So I eat normal, but I stay away from the the fast foods and stuff.
So
I have a hard time in this town finding a meal.
I know, right?
All these vegans.
Let me ask you this, because you I love to pick your brain a little bit, because you're one of those. I mean, you do everything, and I feel like that you do have your hand in every single piece of your production. That's by design, or that's just because you do make these independent movies?
Well, yeah, because we cut a lot of corners. I think the longest I've ever spent on making any of my films is like 18 days.
Wow.
So you get to a point where you have to wear more than one hat, and you get people that work on your crew that are willing to do more than just what their job description is. So when you find that crew, you take them with you everywhere you go. So I have a crew, Eric Thomasonis with Swirl Films. All these guys, they know exactly. You guys experience the whole crew. We hit the floor running, and everybody knows that, the DP may come in there and help us, help the sound guy, and that's what you have to have. Unfortunately, in really heavy union situations, you can't do that, and we understand that. But after I get people drunk on this set after the first night, I like Russ Parr, so I can get them to do anything, so that kind of works. I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, we are. Where did you shoot this movie, by the way?
Here in Los Angeles.
Oh, so it was right here.
Right, and it's September 4th, Labor Day weekend. #, Ringside, if you guys can tweet it. If you did not like the movie.
#fake Drake.
Right.
Please.
If you didn't like the movie, please don't say anything about it, but if you did, it's Ringside, September 4th, Labor Day weekend on a Sunday. We appreciate it.
Hey, guys, everybody give the cast a big round of applause.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for
We
watching the
appreciate
movie.
you.